Hey everyone, today we've got the iPhone 13 Pro. I know it's not on release date, but with everybody wanting to trade in their phones, we got really slammed with repairs, so thanks for that. But I'm excited to see what's inside. This thing looks beautiful. This new color. Woo! So let's just get this thing opened up. That Sierra blue, that's just gorgeous. Cameras are noticeably bigger. Let's get this thing turned on. Hello, hello. Just set this thing up. Oh, I can instantly tell that the refresh rate is much higher. Honestly, going into this, I wasn't really impressed. I wasn't thinking that there was going to be much of an improvement. But just from moving the apps around, I can see the refresh rate is so much faster. At 120 Hertz, you can see the apps react so much faster and so much more crisp. Wow, I like this. It turns out the 13 Pro isn't identical to the 12. Right here we've got lower buttons on the 13, both for the volume and the power button. Now the biggest update with the iPhone 13 is the camera. And they've got a new feature called cinematic mode. And this thing makes it look like a movie by blurring everything else out. That's called bokeh. They add that digitally, and it's cool, it's a nice idea. But sometimes it can blur out parts of your subject, or even add a halo effect, like my cameraman's fingers here. But other than that, the camera has had a major improvement. One thing that I hated about my 12 Pro Max was how botchy it was when I would zoom in the middle of a video. I noticed that the iPhone 13 Pro is a lot smoother. Take a look at this. Right here, you can see that I can zoom all the way in to 9 times on my lovely photographer here. And I can zoom all the way back out. But on my iPhone 12 Pro Max, take a look at this. We can only go to 3 times, and we can't go all the way out. Wow. So without further ado, let's slap a mat down and open this beauty up. So we'll turn this thing off, then grab our Panth screwdriver. We're just gonna focus on the edges. We don't wanna get too much heat on that OLED. Now I have to be very careful because I do plan on using this as my personal phone. Oh, looks like I had some gunk on my suction cup. And there it is. Wow, that was a little tough to get open, honestly. On first glance, you can see that they've done a nice facelift, or I guess you could call it an organ lift. But yeah, they switched everything around, made it smaller, possibly harder to repair, but that's what we're here to find out. Looks like the cameras, they switched out the infrared and the front camera, and they scooted them together. The ear speaker is no longer on the screen, it's actually inside the frame now. And yeah, I guess they're going with the clean look right here. They've pushed everything down at the bottom. For some reason, I don't see where it says the milliamp hours. So I wonder if it says it on the back. I guess we'll find out. I can see right here, the Taptic engine is much smaller. Let's take this thing all the way apart. You can see here we have a new design. There's a new plate here that covers the screen connectors. Up top right here, we've got 2 Phillips screws, just like on the iPhone XR. I think it would be a lot easier to unscrew this one if we just push the screen forward. Yep, there we go. Just gotta make sure not to damage this ear speaker cable because I'm sure that that would destroy your Face ID functionality. So first we'll unplug the battery, and then the screen connector, and of course, the top flex. I guess it's not the ear speaker flex. Yeah, just the sensor flex. I do want to point out, I'm really happy that I didn't butcher my seal because it's going to be a while before they're going to be available. So I'm just going to put some adhesion primer on here and it should be good. Each phone has a different layout for the seal. And this one here, since they changed the location of the ear speaker hole, looks like it goes around the ear speaker hole. So no, the older generation seal wouldn't work on this phone, but let's keep going. Looks like they added the cute little bumper right here so I can rest my spudger on it when I want to come in and undo this connector. Maybe they aren't so after third-party repair after all. So now we should be able to get this board out of here as long as we get everything out of the way. Make sure to get these connectors out of the way. Can easily get snagged on the board. Slow and steady definitely wins the race, especially when it's your first time doing something. So we're just gonna work this out of here. Well, I tried to pull the motherboard out, but I couldn't actually. I've seen other videos where people just pull the motherboard straight out of these, but hey, maybe different regions have different kinds of phones. And this US model has a cable coming out from the bottom right here, running along underneath this camera assembly. So I'm gonna take this apart and see where that's going. So after taking this off, I can see that cable connected to the board. I'm moving it up and down. You can see right here it's wiggling. It looks like it comes down right here and along the side of the phone connected to the 5G chip. Maybe not all regions have the 5G chip. So if we want to take this motherboard out, we're gonna have to make some clearance for this cable right here. Well, now I can see why they put the milliamp hours on the back. Right here it says 3095 milliamp hours when they advertised that it was 3125. Why would you do that? I wonder how long these batteries are gonna last. I'll give them 2.5 years, 3 tops. All right, now with everything out of the way, we can unplug the 5G antenna. I don't like this new trend that Apple's doing with the 5G chip, having this cable come straight out of this motherboard. Makes it a little difficult to get it out. You have to move a lot more things to get the board out and do a motherboard repair. Well, let's take this on over to our microscope and see what we're working with. Under the microscope, we can clearly see this cute little speed bump they added right here, and of course the A15 Bionic chip. But not much has changed. They're continuing their theme of making everything smaller, closer together, and harder to fix, and multi-layered, of course. Alrighty, now it's time to put everything back together and hope that it works. I always find it easier to plug in the top cable first. I feel like you just have a better angle when you do that. All right, and we've got everything screwed back into place. All we have to do is just close this screen and push it down. And there we go. Now we just gotta put the bottom 2 screws in. SIM card tray. And there we go. And that's the iPhone 13 Pro, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and by the way, as soon as these back glass replacements are available for sale on the market, we're gonna be one of the first to do a back glass replacement. So make sure you turn on your post notifications, and we'll catch you on the next one.